Test, 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 test. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I don't know, man. Good evening, Steph. I don't know what the hell, man. Like, I swear to God, like, I'm paying like $19 a month for this tool. I just feel I'm gonna switch to OBS, like to open source stuff. Like, this thing isn't worth paying for. Like, I'm literally paying like 20 bucks for this. And it keeps behaving really strange. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I think it's probably this dual stream thing. Like, I'm streaming, you know, to YouTube and to Twitch at the same time. And I don't think it's handling that really well, right? I don't think it's handling it really well, to be very frank with you, at all. What do you think about website development, JavaScript? I mean, as someone, you know, you know, Stefan, if you remember, I used to work as a mentor for 5.5 years on thinkful.com, and the program where I taught was really good. It lasted for 6 months. So some of those boot camps can be a really good experience, right? I don't know, I've never heard, I didn't know that Vlade Divac had a camp, so you will have to kind of research that a bit, right? I don't actually know, to be very frank with you. I've never heard, I didn't know that he had one. But generally, as someone actually worked at those boot camps, I mean, students had a great experience, right? But you have to study a lot. You just have to do, you know, all the time you have in the world, you have to spend on it, right? All right, to get back to this, right? So you can see kind of you get insane amount of stuff for very, very low price. Store up to 100,000 images and 1,000 minutes of video content. Right, so this is pretty great, right? So I'm going to be switching from Google Cloud Storage to this, and there's several reasons. Like, I don't want to couple myself to Google Cloud Storage because some of you guys know they don't have a, you can't really there are no limits that you can set and stuff. So I don't want to be thinking about that. And then just to give you an info, basically, so yeah, yesterday we're gonna be hosting Google Cloud. Sorry, we're gonna be hosting Google. We're gonna be hosting what is called a Programmer Network. We're gonna be hosting a Programmer Network here, and so I already kind of set everything up. So we're gonna be basically starting on this. This is our starting server, 20 euros a month. A bit an overkill for now, but it's fine. I would much rather have an overkill than less than I need. And then we're going to be hosting our UI on Cloudflare pages. Why, you might wonder? Because it's free, number one, but it's not about money. You get the CDN. You get caching. Cloudflare is just amazing. So that's why we are starting on Cloudflare. And yeah, this is also super cheap. Yeah, exactly. This is I mean, yeah, this is not like dedicated CPUs, of course, and stuff, but it's still incredibly good. It's incredibly good value for money, honestly. This is a really kind of really solid server for 20 euros, right? So this is where we're going to be starting. Then we're going to be using Cloudflare, right, for our UI for start. This is by no means like a final infrastructure or anything like that, but it's a starting point. I mean, honestly, when we're like, for now, I will bookmark this, right? I have no doubts that this is a great thing, right? I just, I don't, for now, right? I don't care much. Hetzner is a 20 years old company. It's one of the oldest hosting companies in Europe. I worked with them for many years and they're reliable. At least they have been reliable when it comes to me. So, I think it's going to be more than good enough. But I have no doubts that there are better things out there. Maybe this is better or not, right? But yeah. All right, so that's kind of going to be, I'm going to draw a diagram for you guys when I'm done and stuff. I still have a lot of stuff to do on the Nginx configuration. I haven't set up any rate limiting or any basically. It's just a bare minimum reverse proxy, and that's it, right? So I still have to set up, do a lot of stuff on Nginx side and stuff. But again, that's not really... Good evening, Saku. How are you doing? Yeah. So in one of the streams, one of the next streams, we're going to be nuking Google Cloud Platform. Yeah, man, I'm also happy. My wife is here. My wife is home, and she's now with the kids, so I can actually start. I mean, I always wanted to stream from like 8 until, I don't know, 10 or whatever. But lately, since my wife started this new job, it has been pretty chaotic, right? So I never really intended to stream from like 10, because I also like to go to bed before like 12 or 11, right? But, you know, recently there's really no option, right? So cheers, everybody. Think I'm gonna have mine tomorrow or after tomorrow. I'm going to the office tomorrow. Yeah. Same, dude, same, but it's taking a toll. It's taking a toll for sure. All right, let me shut up for a bit. I didn't even start coding. So this is gonna be one of the tasks in the maybe tomorrow. I think over the weekend we're gonna be actually, I think if you care about Cloudflare images, and I never honestly use them myself because this is a brand new service, relatively new service. Stick around maybe over the weekend. It's going to be interesting. Like we'll be basically implementing this, and they have a the reason why this is super cool as well is because they do it on the edge basically. So you all of the transformation and different image variants and stuff they do on their end, and then they deliver you all of the stuff. So we're going to be basically in one of the streams. We're going to be implementing this. And then this image upload is going to be used for articles, thoughts, avatars, whatever it's going to be. And then we're going to nuke the GCP stuff. Okay. All right. So anyway, last time we saw each other, we've been doing the thoughts, right? And we finally made it work with, if you remember, with SVR library, right? I basically spent last whole stream failing with that, and then we randomly succeeded. What I'm actually going to do over the weekend, I'm going to read the source code of that SVR library, because we did solve this, but I don't know why it works, and that's not a great feeling, right? I have a feeling that, you know, I don't have a control over it, right? So let's kind of see what we want to do for this stream, at least, and then of course if we can do more than that, even better. So let's kind of go just quickly here to our yeah, so this is where we are, right? So let's kind of just add some tiny subtasks here, right? So so let's say here, let's create some. So let's just call this story thoughts, and let's just break it down a bit. So essentially you can see now what I did as well. Now when you actually create a thought, we kind of highlight this, right? But what would be cool, right, when you tag something, this should be clickable, right? So when you actually write something and write those tags, you should be able to click on the tag and it should take you there, right? So let's kind of start there. Make the tags inside thoughts clickable. Good evening, my friend. Good evening, Dominic. Clickable, aka they should take one to the tags page view. So that's one thing. Let's kind of just break it down what we're missing here. Yeah, so you can see this is also a bug. You prevent creation of thoughts if text is missing. One can now create a thought with only by providing a tag. Okay. Let's just kind of break it down to see. I mean, you're not wrong, right? Like some sort of dirty state, indeed, right? The thing is, right? Let's kind of reason about it, right? Think about it this way. Imagine that I'm typing this, right? Maybe, let's discuss it. Maybe you're right, and then let's come to some agreement. Imagine I'm typing here, and I want to hit this, but it's disabled, right? If I'm using this for the first time and I don't actually know that I need to actually have a tag in order to submit, then the UI is not going to actually in any way tell me, hey, you know. So of course, like if we would want to go your way, then when I hover over this, I would need some sort of tooltip or something that tells me, hey. Yeah, and that is the case right now. You can see that right now you can't really, right now, I mean, the reason why I'm just extra showing the message, but you can't really, you can see that that's the point, right? When you have some text, this becomes blue, right? Yeah, that's what's happening now, yeah. It's just that we haven't finalized the styling and stuff, so maybe that's not indicative enough. But you can see that this arrow is now gray, but once I put some text in, right, it becomes, but this is kind of now also an invalid indication of the right state, because you can't at this point submit because, well, actually, let's see, you're not supposed to actually do that, right? So how did I even accomplish to do this? Let's see. I don't actually know, right? So yeah, we have to just validate that, right? We have to make sure. So let's see how do we do. So what did we write so far? Make the tags inside that's clickable, prevent creation of thoughts if text is missing, la la la. Yeah, the thing is, right, there are kind of two things that can go wrong, right? But yeah, let's see where we land for sure, right? For sure. And also those messages that we have now, they're kind of, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, right. And then there's something strange here that's gonna happen now, I believe. Let's see. No, never mind. Okay. And I think one thing that I was thinking, right, that we're missing, right? I think when it comes to Twitter and a lot of those platforms, I think it's very important that you can share your tweet or thought or whatever. I actually went to Twitter this week, and I can see that like you can click on a tweet and then it opens in a single page and stuff. I don't know if that's needed. I guess it is, but we'll see, right? I don't actually know. Let me just write that. Maybe create a single thought view. Share a thought. I'm just seeing what are we missing here. And yeah, this kind of, we could aggregate this into, yeah, there's also that, and that we're gonna copy. So comments and stuff, we're gonna put back. We have that for the article, so we're gonna use the same logic, I think. I just want to kind of see, going kind of from the simplest to the most complex things, right? So comments and likes, of course. Let's lay it out here so we realistically know everything that's missing, right? Maybe edit a thought, right? So those are the basic ones. Those are the easy ones, right? This is fairly easy, right? And then we need to, yeah, replace the mention, replace the drop down, replace hashtag drop down with our own drop down from the core library. Actually, I don't know, honestly, I haven't thought about it, Winsword. I think that most platforms do that. and I guess there's reason behind it, so it indicates that, you know, you might have, I don't actually know. I guess that's important, right? Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's more about reasoning rather than, I'm not by no means saying that I'm smarter than everyone else. It's just if we come to a conclusion that there's a meaning behind it, then absolutely, right? I don't know. If like we can do that, it's a very simple thing to do, right? Just because each of those resources anyway has created an updated at, right? That's kind of on database level happens on database level anyways, right? It's like, just if it makes sense, I guess, then why not? Okay, so let's start simple. Let's start kind of cracking those a bit. So let's start with the first one. So this one, right? So basically, once you write the thought and you tag it, you should be able to go to that thing. And let's kind of try. So this should also be a link. So let's say that this element is an anchor tag, just like here. And there's a class target is, no, let's not touch the target. Okay, let's just start like this. Let's see what happens now. Is this an anchor? Yeah, so it is an anchor, right? Let's say console.log. Let's try to make this linkable now. Mention, yeah. So, yeah, cool. So it's gonna be mention is an object. It's gonna be mention.name, right? So let's try that. So we grab this thing here, right? And then let's say here, there's gonna be basically slash tags slash that dot mention dot name. Or is this object a mention already? I don't know. Let's see. All right. Let's take a look. So it does take me now to JS. If we go to React, it would just be nicer, right, if this is our navlink component, and I don't know if so it works, right? So we can see that now if I go and I can, you know, click on one of those tags that we created, and that's good, right? But can we actually use a No, I don't use any of the very common kind of SSR type of stuff, right? Like I have no such optimizations right now, right? Like any source of hydration, also accessibility stuff like that. That's gonna. The thing is, like, I can't do it all, right? It's a great question, right? Because especially with those recent React versions, they came up with a lot of super interesting stuff, right? It's just like I don't have the time round for that, right? But the way that it's gonna happen, basically, once we release, I'll see where the bottlenecks are, if there are any, right? And then we'll see if because the thing is, right, as you can see, this platform itself is super simple anyway, right? There's very minimal type of stuff, right? So we'll see. But there's optimizations on all sorts of levels that we can do, right? Yeah, okay, I like this. This is now fine. It's just yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Ah. All right, cool. All right, so that's kind of fine, right? So we can say for now, at least that this is that, right? So this was a quick one, right? So let's go back to the story. It's a German beer, basically. Weiss beer. Cheers, my friend. All right, delete a thought. Prevent creation of thoughts if text is missing. One can now create a thought only by... Cheers as well. Okay, so let's maybe create a single thought view, share thought, right? But let's see first the bugs. Yeah. So the validation type of stuff, right? Is so let's do this one, right? So let me just do one thing here, right? So if I go to... If we go over here, right, let's kind of try to aggregate the error, right? So let me kind of... Let's do something like this, right? Sorry. How do we want to write it? Please tag your thoughts. I don't know. We'll review this eventually anyway. What is it called? Thought text is man, it's so hard to write it now. I just say missing a tag and a thought. Yeah, but this is now for both text and tag, right? I just want to always show one line, right? At least one tag and text is required. Let's just do it like this, right? Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. If missing. Yeah, let's just do this, and then like you said, we can optimize later. At least one tag is required, right? This is not a post. This is not a post, Winsword. This is a thought. It's like a tweet, and tag is always required, no matter what you do. We cannot. Well, it is. Well, right now all tags are programming related, but we're gonna hopefully come up with different types of tags. But either way, you cannot just write something and not relate it to anything, right? It has to be related to something. And also, we don't want the tags to be dynamic neither, meaning, you know, at least not for now, because to create the actual tag system that makes sense, I guess, takes a little bit more effort, right? So for now, please keep in mind this is a Yeah, well, exactly. Like we don't want, absolutely, because it is a very specific platform. It's not Twitter. On Twitter, right? Twitter is a general platform, for instance, and for them maybe you want to go there and discuss Trump and apocalypse and war and stuff like that, right? This is, and I'm by no means suggesting that this is only gonna be just okay. If you come here, you can only talk about this. But it's going to be kind of constrained a bit, right? Because I wouldn't want to come to this feed, at least in such shape and form. I cannot predict and read about, I don't know what, right? Because then it would defeat the purpose of this whole platform, right? I think, right? I don't know. I don't know, right? Because I mean, that's going to be the hardest part of this platform, is going to be exactly that, right? Figuring out those types of things, because this isn't really technical, it's rather social and I don't know. I guess it's easy. I guess I can say it's just hard, right? Because you don't know, you don't know, right? It's very difficult. I don't know, at least for me. All right, so yeah, I'm not really happy with this, but let me move on. Yeah, but I mean, if we do so, right? So far I had an idea to have some sort of a trash or some feed called garbage trash or something like that, where you can go and talk about whatever you want, right? But for that sort of stuff, people explicitly have to click in or even opt in to read, right? Because the whole point of this platform we're making here is exactly to create a space for developers to be able to escape insanity of the world and all other things that you can read elsewhere, right? If you want to read about war, hatred, if you want to hate on somebody, if you want to be hated, if you want to be insulted, if you want to insult someone else, you can go for Twitter any day. You go to Twitter now and you can get insulted easily, right? And this platform is going to attempt to be exactly opposite of that, right? Because there's too much of those Facebook, Twitter, people. It became not social platform, it became a hatred platform, right? So that's why I say, like, you should, as a developer persona, be able to remain in your own world and only and absolutely only opt in into this insanity if you wish. I personally, like, when I came up with this idea with my friends, and this was 7 years ago when we bought the domain, I wanted to have a platform where I can just go and have peace of mind. Like, read about, let me read 10 minutes of stuff that I might be interested in and then go mind my own business, right? So if you want that other sort of stuff, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, I guess there's a bunch of other platforms apart from those as well, right? All right, so let's focus back on this thing. And I'm saying this out loud genuinely because many of you are watching me pretty much every night. And if you end up being our early adopters and first testers and stuff, I really want you to I want to try and share this idea with you, just so you can internalize why is this even being built. Because I'm not building this because this input is prettier than some other. It's really trying to build a place where you can just have peace of mind, right? I mean, actually, I remember when I wrote, if I go to, let me see. Never mind. I'm shifting too much, but yeah, I think you get it. Yeah, very true idea. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's gonna, I don't know. That's gonna be the hard part, right? You also don't want to build a community or a platform where, it's like fascism and we dictate what people can say and how they, right? It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one for sure. All right, sorry. So yeah. So let me shut up. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do here, because I just realized that I'm gonna abstract that. I'm gonna create another draft.js kind of. I'm gonna create this shared thought editor component, and I'm just gonna abstract this logic out, just because it's becoming kind of, it's increasing in the features that I need here, right? Thanks for creating a task idea. All right, and then I guess it's this thing, right? This is a very specific component, right? And that's why I'm also localizing it in the components folder, which is relative to this specific view here. Let me just see what is going on. Editor, div, there's div here. Okay. Come on. Come on. All right, cool. Let's just extend this with the props. Let's call editor states. Suggestions. Yeah, bunch of props. It actually does create an extra div as well. Template literal, fragment react fragment does exactly the same. So this thing does exactly the same. A 100% wins word. Like there's so many tags missing, right? Just so you can get the idea, right? If I go to my API, to my backend here, right? Like I literally went to Google, I researched top tags, right? Right? So this is me, I kind of literally manually wrote those, and then I am just populating them in a database. So we're gonna start basically with a finite list like this, right? And then probably one day, right, in some shape or form, try to make them dynamic, right? Like again, the point is never to limit people in what they can do, but it's to kind of maybe limit them in the scope so they can do what's relevant inside of that platform. And once you open it up to be completely dynamic or open, then you kind of lose the control, and then the platform itself becomes thank you so much for the follow, Kenna. You know, if you open it completely, you have no control to kind of create a nice community, but then also if you close it, you limit people as well. So I think those types of things are hard, and I personally know as much as you or less than you about this. I don't know, I've never built a successful social platform to know how to deal with those types of social related things, but I know that probably it would be a bad idea to start, you know, with completely dynamic tags, right? Because that would go out of hand very quickly, right? I don't know. At least my opinion now, it might change over time, right? I don't know. Okay, let me get back. I'm trying to. Yeah, okay, so handle search change. Let's just kind of do this, right? And then this is gonna be editor state. So let's kind of pass this, right? Let me just go back here, and where's our editor? editor. Yeah, it's this one, right? I'm gonna read your stuff, Steph, in a sec. And then what is has text? Okay, fine, that's okay. Form, state, content, value. Okay, so essentially in this context here, as I'm abstracting this out, this is gonna be editor state, right? Duplicate identifier. Okay, that's why. All right, cool. And then lastly, let me just do this, and then it's gonna remove all the ones which aren't used. And then some of the state we will keep internal. Let me just get rid of those errors and stuff, and then I'm pretty sure that a lot of this stuff is actually gonna remain inside of the component, right? Let's do this. So let me just read what you're saying. These bootcamps require class attendance as well as taking some tests, 2 tests, and if you go to a personal interview, final test. So basically, when I worked at Thinkful, I'll just be short. So essentially, at Thinkful, Thinkful, the program that I worked for 5.5 years, basically was that when we would get applicants to the bootcamp, you would have to pass some minimal requirements to be accepted in the program, and then if you would graduate in the program within 6 months and then find a job within 3 months. So if you would graduate within 6 months and you wouldn't find a job in between first 3 months, we would give you your money back. So the program basically was so good that we would guarantee, it was called job guarantee basically, right? But it was like that. You had to kind of pass things, you had to work really hard, right? So, and nothing is difficult to solve stuff, but of course, like you have to attend those things, right? You have to be there, yes. All right, so we abstracted this thing out, right? So let's come over here. Right, so that's what we want. Then we want to pass all those guys. Handle create. Right. Great. Okay. What else? Suggestions? Okay. What else? Editors to handle and manage and search. We can kind of nuke this from here. Then here state, okay. So here we're gonna have error message, right? Then we're gonna say a state.form, or no, form.state, form.state is creating. Okay, so this is creating thought, I guess. Let's see if it's relevant if we have it here in this state. Like, are we using it for anything? We are. Okay, fair enough. So we do have to have it here. Then we can probably call it is creating, right? Because it's implicit. Like, I mean, we are inside of the shared thought editor, so it kind of implies that it's is creating is referred to itself, right? So something like that, right? So we kind of made that a custom component now. Let's see. And then we messed something up. So let's go back here. Let's see. All right. All right. And then this fella we don't want to put here. We want to... So this guy should be... Give me a second. All right, so that's cool, right? And then something like this, right? Nah, not really. No, my bad. Should be in this fella over here, right? Well, yeah. Something like that, right? Well, when we get to the point of basically releasing this, we'll go and okay, still works. Okay, so we abstracted it out. Why did we do it? Because you saw, like, so why did I make this decision? Let me just be vocal about it so somebody can catch something from this, right? You saw how this kind of became almost the whole view of this tab, right? And then it just doesn't, it kind of makes it very difficult to read what becomes part of the actual editor. And you can see the reason why I abstracted this out in a custom component is because I have the base editor, I have the base draft.js, and I don't want to pollute that with additional knowledge, which is very specific to something else, right? So you want to, that's component composition, right? You want to keep your components as composable as possible, and then you kind of abstract them, you compose them at other places, as I did here, right? Because I don't have an editor, and we're probably not gonna have it where that has this thing here and stuff like that, right? Okay. So now what I need in this thing is this, right? Well, let me actually, so instead of negating this, right, let me just see what the text is when I only type the actual mention, because this is going to be this is going to be a draft.js kind of type of task, right? Because we have to decipher how do we actually now decipher if the only thing inside of here is only a tag, right? You can technically say, well, you know, go from the, see if there's, you know, a hash, but no, we can't do it like that, right? So we do need to kind of check the current content, maybe. Let's see, and we need to find some data that's relevant to it, right? Actually, if I go to if I go here and I go to this user message, right? No, not this thing. I think, was it editor to row? States. Why am I not auto importing this? I don't actually know why does it fail sometimes. And do I pass it actually the whole state or the current state? I don't remember. Yeah, so here it is, right? So now we have this object here. And also let's maybe, just maybe, just check if there's something, without, you know, writing this manually, let's see if there's something that they provide through their API, right? Just so we don't end up writing something that already exists. No, not really, right? But anyway, let's leave this open because we're gonna need this. We're gonna need this now in a second anyway, right? Entity mutability, what is this? Okay, never mind. So we can't. So basically, yeah, we could use this. And let's... So just to be clear, what am I doing? So, right, I don't want to enable this. You just type a tag and you say it, right? That doesn't make sense. So we have to kind of now write some validation where like we figure out that there's only a tag in there and nothing else, right? So what if I have like... So we have so right, so we're now, yeah, so this is the thing, right? So we can see that we have this entity map, and inside of there we can loop through and get all the types which are of type mention. So that's good, right? So this is my logic. Let's think about it together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all the types mentions, then I'm gonna get the text, then I'm gonna sort both strings, and then I'm gonna check if they match. If they match, that means that there's only mentions. Do you get what I mean? Think about it this way. I think I'm thinking it right, but correct me if I'm wrong. So I reduce all mentions to a single string, right? So say that, for example, I'm gonna have them like this, JavaScript, Rust, right? So what I do then, I reduce them to a string. I, what is it called? Sort them. And then I call get text, which gets the whole text, not just mentions. Then I also sort that, and then I compare them. If they're not the same, that means that there is some text. And if they are the same, then there's only mentions, right? This is the best I could come up with in 3 seconds, right? So let's try that, right? So this is the shape of the object. So we can see we have entity block and blocks. And you see what I'm saying here, right? So you can see the text. Yeah, and of course, yeah, you always, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So let's try to write that little function, right? Okay, so let's kind of come here and say const is missing text. I don't know. We'll see how we're gonna name it, right? All right, so this is an object that has entity, okay? So you're gonna say const mentions okay, let's just see what happens here now with those mentions. It's dying. Let's see. Reduce, okay. Entity map is an object. My bad. Sorry. So what we're gonna do in this guy, we're gonna do, yeah, sure, fine. My bad. So content entity map, we're gonna do like, actually, we're gonna do something like this, right? Something like that, I think. Let's actually print that at least. So this should give us like an array of objects, I think. Oh yeah, okay. So, but I think I didn't actually write it well. Let's actually come here. Let me just comment this stuff out. Is missing text content. Let's print the content. Oh, of course. Okay, yeah. Because let's see. So it's no, it's fine. Content. No, I think it's good, right? It's undefined. Okay, why? I don't get it, genuinely. Is it because entity map is maybe empty? Ah, maybe it is, right? Let's take a look. I was so certain I'm gonna write this in 3 seconds. I mean, I think will. It's just, let's see what's happening. Has text. And where's this has text thing? Maybe that's kind of failing. Yeah. Let's also kind of neglect that. Nice, Hanula. Congrats. World first internet connection. Amazing. Ooh, they've subscribed for 3 months. Nice. Thank you, man. Thank you. That's amazing. So, Nora did the same. It was a great entry to the stream. So entity map. Okay, got it. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it. Content. Okay. So let's just print this. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is going on? Let's see. Good. My son was sick a bit, to be very frank with you, so it was a bit chaotic, but didn't sleep at all last night. We woke up at 3 a.m. and then didn't sleep anymore at all. But it's okay, I guess. It's fine. So for some reason we're getting a bunch of undefines. Like, why is that? Wait a minute. Yeah, I think that was the issue, basically. Yeah, he had like ear infection or something, so it was kind of a long night. It was a long night, but that's what it is, man. When you have kids, that's how it is. Okay, and I can see that some of those guys don't have entity map at all, so that was the problem. Okay, I think I got it. Sure. When you get kids, man, it's trouble. A lot of trouble, but a lot of beautiful things as well. Okay, so try something like that. What? I'm a bit confused, to be very honest with you. Like, why am I getting the output that I'm getting? Oh, do we have to... It's a string, right? That's why. I wonder if I should use... Yeah, that's the problem. I wonder if I should use editor from row. Let's actually come here now. Let's comment this stuff again. Not this thing. Okay, I shouldn't. All right. Let's then do it like this. Let's then do it. Edit from row, editor state. Exactly. It's a dark one, but a good one. Convert editor to row. Convert to row state current content. So. No, never mind. Never mind. All right, there we are. So basically, it was a string the whole time, right? Which kinda, yeah, made it a bit annoying, right? Yeah. So this is, yeah, and then of course instead of type here, it shouldn't be the type. Let's actually see. It should be called date. Wait, no. So it should date mention a name. Okay. So over here we should say entity dot data dot mention dot name, right? I think so, right? Yeah, and now as you can see we get this stuff, right? Now yeah, so what I'm also gonna do here is I'm gonna prepend the actual hash, because I know that the hash is gonna be visible in there, inside of the other text that we're gonna be comparing to. So I think this is how we want it to be. So now if I add Angular, you can see it's one string. Now I wonder, will the order, so when we start ordering this, is it gonna be guaranteed order? I don't actually remember. Okay, but we'll see. All right, next thing, let's print this again. So we have blocks. And then we have I think this is going to be a bit painful now. So we're going to have to loop through every single block, get every single text, sort every single text, well, compose, reduce. Okay, it's going to be pretty much, right, the same, very similar to this, right? So let's take a look. So then we're going to have texts. Let's just say texts. Text. So it's gonna be so content.blocks is an array, so that's great. We don't have to do this craziness here. Yeah, contacts.